Welcome to Chicago Theater Review. I'm Frank, and it's a sizzling August, and we have...
July.
It's August. This is 2 weeks from now.
August.
Okay, so you have a great show for the month of August. Actually, we have a special guest. He swore never to be on our show after the last time he was on 4 years ago, but because he's doing a new play in Chicago, he definitely wants to be on now. So we got Gail, who's with us, and I've got Al, who's back with us, who's going to be talking about some great shows that are going on in Chicago. Al, give us your website one more time.
It's aroundthetownchicago.com.
And it'll be on at the end of the show in our credit rating also. Okay, let's start off with the first show because I have to give our special guests plenty of time because they really have a lot going on for us. The first show is at Drury Lane. It is a wonderful show that's playing in London's West End. It was a hit on Broadway. Basically, it's Alfred Hitchcock's 39 Steps. It's an adaptation of Alfred Hitchcock's 39 Steps. This is a show where, was it basically 4 people do 21 costume changes?
Well, I think it's more than that, but there's a man and a woman, and then there's 2 what they call clowns, who are really the major part of the show. Without them, the show doesn't really work, but it's a very, very funny, it's a non-musical. Mm-hmm. There is no music, except for little stuff on the side, but basically it's a spoof on a murder mystery where the wrong guy is accused of a crime. But what's ingenious about it is the way that they have taken these characters and made them work with the direction, little things here and there. When the Broadway touring company came in, a lot of people were not impressed with the show.
Right.
And in fact, when Drury Lane announced it was doing it, a lot of the people that normally go to all the openings said, you know what, I saw this show, I don't need to see this show. Well, they missed something special. The 2 guys who play the clowns really make the show something unique. One of them is one of the 500 clown guys, so physical humor is his specialty. And Jeff Dumas, who has just been playing in Spamalot on the tour, he's not as physical, but he became physical, and he actually outdid Paul. I mean, he actually had more physical stuff than Paul did.
Because I remember when this show came, first time I saw it was with Broadway in Chicago,
right.
And I walked out of there going, oh God, this is really disappointing. Because I expected it to be a lot better because I saw semi-productions of it in other areas, and which was always a lot better. So Chicago just got either a bad cast, and then I saw the Drury Lane, and it's a completely
different show.
Gail saw it. What did you think?
It was very well done. It's just not my cup of tea.
It's slapstick, and if you like the Three Stooges and you like that type of humor,
of course,
then it works great.
Yeah.
We do have a clip of the show, so let's go right to the clip of 39 Steps.
The book. Thank you. Yes, I can't actually write with my right hand. I got it a bit bruised. Sorry, cranking the car. Cranking the car. Quite right. Absolutely. Oh, I tell you what. Why don't you sign, darling? The sooner you get used to writing your new name, the better. Remember what it is?
No.
Oh, I think you do, actually, darling, don't you? Mr. and Mrs. Henry Hopkinson, the Hollyhocks, Hammersmith, Hampshire. Well done, darling. And there we are. Anyway, yes, I think that if you could...
will you bring in your supper?
Sorry?
Will you bring in your supper?
Will you bring in your supper?
That is 39 Steps. That's playing at the Drury Lane, and that is also playing until August 26th. Next, let's go to a new show at the Goodman. There's been a lot of shows over the last few years dealing with hats and different themes and topics dealing with it. We had the Red Hats and other type of shows that come on with a group of women dealing with their hats. Goodman came up with a new idea, and it's called crowns.
It's not really new, because they've done it before. In fact, they did it many, many years ago. What they did is they brought it to more modern times. They moved it from Brooklyn to Chicago, which didn't make much difference except for the sights of it. But it's really about what the crowns or what the hats mean. The hats are a symbol. It's a symbol of hard work and that they've paid off, and that these people from the inner city and people who came from farmlands and came from, well, being slaves, by having that hat, and the more hats they accumulated, once they got to 100, then they were queens. So that's what it's really about. It's getting to the root of it, not just about buying a hat, because it's like women buying shoes. I mean, every woman has 100 pairs of shoes, but they still need a pair of black ones.
Because you have the girl that leaves Chicago to go live with her grandmother, basically.
Yeah, she goes
and
to her
she's the
grandmother.
rebel who doesn't...
Well, but she's getting a history lesson, and she's learning about the pride of her people. And part of the pride, and I don't know how many people really know about this, but if you go back in time, and even so now, if you drive in the African-American communities, and you go on a Sunday and you watch the people coming out of church, the men and the women all have hats on. It's their symbol. It's something that started a long time ago when they first came out of slavery, that they were able to get a job, earn money, and when they put that hat on, they were on an equal level with the people who used to own them. And that's why it became the crown.
Gail, did you see the show?
I did.
What did you think of it?
There were a couple numbers that were really slow, but there were some that were really energetic. It's Ife Butler and help me, Felicia Fields.
Yeah,
Felicia
Fields
are in it,
understand
and
that.
you know, just seeing those two on the stage is the gospel numbers were really well
the
done.
gospel is powerful, and Chicago's
And
a big
actually,
gospel.
somebody who had seen it, they changed the set from the last time.
They
with
changed
the
a lot. They
hats.
added 7 minutes of dance. They added 2 songs, and really, I didn't like it the first time I saw it. I mean, it was okay, but I like this version. I mean, there's still maybe a little more they can do with it, but it eventually this is going to be a Broadway show.
Well, let's see a clip of Crowns, because it's a short clip, but it gives you a taste of what we're talking about. Okay, so that's Crowns, and it's playing at the Goodman. Now let's go to one more show. This is playing at the Writers Theater, and I found it to be a wonderful show, and I know you saw it.
Yeah, of course.
The blonde, the brunette, and the vengeful redhead.
One-woman show that is excited.
Most people know that I do terrible with one-people shows. I mean, they just, either they bore you to death, or they're going to keep your excitement going, and most of them have bored me to death. This kept me on edge for the full 2 hours. It was a wonderful show. She plays 7 characters, and the way she changes it with each character, you think it's a completely different actress.
And I think the most important thing about it is the space you're in. You're in the back of a bookstore, and it's really, it's 62 seats or 64 seats, so you're about as close as you can get to a performance area. And everything that she does and the transformation from character to character and telling the story is right there. I mean, there's nobody going off stage or taking a break. She just does it right before your very eyes, and she does that transformation. And the story is an amazing story. And I don't want to give out the story because you really need to see it. But it's a powerful, powerful piece. And Writers Theater finds these pieces, and they've got this little space, and they might as well use it properly. And this is one of the ways to do it. And
I mean, this easily could have been a show with 7 different characters in it, to 7 different actors and actresses, but you wouldn't have gotten the same effect. It's amazing. The transformation when she changed costumes was everything. Her personality, facial expressions, everything. You really believed that it was a completely different person.
And if you had 7 different people playing it, it wouldn't work.
So,
that's why it works.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We do have a clip of the show, and so let's see that clip now.
Look at her, Miguel. Tell you not interested. Not interested and never will be. Jen, what is life? Nothing is what it seems.
Okay, so that is The Blonde, The Brunette, and The Vengeful Redhead. It's a wonderful show. I highly recommend it. Now, this is unusual for us, but that's all the clips. That's all we're going to see because our guests have a lot going for them. And so I'm going to have Gail do the introductions because she really loves this, this show that's going to be playing. Gail, tell us what's going on.
Okay, we have John Glover here and Scott Kilcandy, and we're going to talk to John first. You're doing a show, The Great American Trailer Park Musical.
Yes, we are.
It is what it sounds like. At Theater Wit. I'm going to give, we're going to go through all the dates and everything, but John, I'm going to just turn this over to you, and why don't you tell us about the show and how you got involved in it.
Great. We're very excited to do this project. The Great American Trailer Park Musical is a show that hasn't been done very often. We're very excited about that and being able to bring it to the stage here in Chicago. Personally, I want to thank Scott because it's his theater company, Kilcandy Productions, that's making this project possible. So, and I think we assembled a great creative team and one amazing cast for the August show. So the show itself, the Great American Trailer Park Musical, takes place in Armadillo Acres, which is a North Florida trailer park located in Stark, Florida. And living in this trailer park are a couple named Jeannie and Norbert Garstecki, and they were high school sweethearts. They got married at 17, they had a baby at 18, and when they were 23, the baby was kidnapped. And when the baby was kidnapped, it forced Jeannie back into her trailer, where she became an agoraphobic and hasn't left it in over 20 years. And unfortunately, Norbert is the kind of husband who doesn't have the emotional or intellectual capability to really help her through the process. So their relationship becomes strained, and in the midst of all of that tension, in sweeps a stripper who's escaping from her ex-boyfriend in Oklahoma City named Pippi. And we'll just say that things start heating up between Norbert and Pippi, and the musical kind of centers around all of these different storylines. But on top of that, the touchstone for the audience are three other ladies who are residents of this trailer park, and they serve as kind of a Greek chorus. They connect with the audience, they help tell the story of the Great American Trailer Park Musical, and they are really a major substance to the show. I would describe this show as hysterical, but a blend of a lot of fun and a lot of heart, and that's why I think we're attracted to it so much.
We're gonna
we're
going to see some of the Great American Trailer Park.
I have to keep looking at my notes because after reading the synopsis of this play, you want to add the word trailer park trash, but it's really Trailer Park the Musical. And after seeing a preview with the music, it's a wonderful show. Instead of doing a B-roll, John's doing something a little bit different. He's actually going to do a live performance. The girls are going to do a live performance of a scene.
Right.
Why don't you set up the scene for us?
Sure. We really wanted to show off our Greek chorus because our girls are fantastic. So this number is a number called That's Why I Love My Man. And it takes place at a point in the show where one of our three ladies, Lynn, has just discovered that her husband has been electrocuted. And so she starts to tell the story of what happened, and then the other two ladies kind of chime in and talk about the history of their husbands as well. The Greek chorus that you're going to see perform, they're made up of Danny Smith, who portrays Betty, Ashley Braxton, who portrays Lynn, and Jen Weisgarver, who portrays Pickles. So they're doing a number called That's Why I Love My Man.
Okay, so let's cut to a nice musical part of the show, and let's go right to them.
They did it! They finally killed my arm! You know, there was a time when a series of sexual favors actually meant something to a governor. Oh my God. Since the Poggy became my husband's home, I always knew this day would come. When a trailer park woman's man gets fried, it's hard to let go of Well, I was waiting for the day he got the chair. Running house to house to make me such a bitch. Just to wind up in a blackout with Earl getting the switch. I'll think of him finally on romantic nights when my new boyfriend turns out the lights. You know I love my man, he had a bitchy tan. You know I love my man, he never saw your plan. You know I love my man, he's always on C-SPAN. I'm that electric chair's biggest fan. That's why I love my man.
Oh, I love my man too, Lynn. He brought all these fancy presents for the baby. He's away doing dinner theater.
That's real sweet.
It's hard to describe a man's love in terms of size. Even harder if you judge it when he cannot fertilize. I think the key to happiness is having kids. So I open up my cookie jar and throw away the lid. Practice makes perfect for my special room. Sometimes we do it in separate rooms.
Oh, my gay hell.
You know I love my man, biggest fan. You know I love my man. Start Peter Pan. You know I love my man. Just like my grandma had. His blood stop fans are dead.
That's why I love my man. Oh, honey, I know all about going without. My man's gone to that mobile home in the sky.
Jesus.
He left all this to me the day he died. Some days I wish I had him back. And so he's buried under this side of the tracks. You know I love my man.
She whacked him with a pan.
You know I love my man.
Dug up his grave by
You
hand.
know I love my man.
6 feet beneath the sand.
There ain't nobody better than. You know I love my man. We took this song and ran. You know I love my man. Kudos to the band. You know I love my man. We got no other plans. Besides, we know you understand. That's why I love my man.
They're great.
They
Now,
are.
before we lose them, I don't want them to walk away. I want the cameras to go back to them. John, introduce who's who.
Oh, surely. So closest to me is Danny Smith, and she plays Betty in the show. She's kind of the mother hen of the trailer park. We'll just say that. Ashley Braxton in the middle portrays Lynn, and Jen Weisgarver portrays Pickles.
Great. You girls are wonderful. I can't wait to see this show.
So one of the things we try to do on the show is to promote smaller theaters, newer theater companies, because the big ones don't need our help as much. And this is Scott Kokandy, who actually started this theater company. You did a show prior to this, Good Boys and True, and that was at
Theater Wit.
Theater Wit, where this show is going to be. And this is your second show.
Yeah, it
so
is.
we're like really excited because you're kind of a newbie. you know?
Yeah, I am as well.
This is really exciting. And your first one was not. This is your first musical.
It is, yeah.
And I did see your last show. Impressive.
Thank you.
And so tell us a little bit about how you kind of got into this whole thing.
Yeah, so I think thinking back a couple years, or really my whole life, I've enjoyed theater, enjoyed participating as an actor in grade school and high school and all that fun stuff, and then just seeing a lot of theater, taking trips to New York to see a lot of theater, and then as the years gone on, I really started seeing lots and lots of theater in Chicago, from shows at the Goodman and the Steppenwolf, and then I started to get into the smaller theaters, in the 20-seat theaters where you have to go down the street to go to the bathroom, So and what was amazing to me was that in those spaces where one might not think you would see something impressive, I was seeing a lot of impressive work.
I think that's where we see some of the most impressive shows, actually.
Absolutely. So that kind of resonated in me in a way that really, when I thought about, well, what does it take to produce? What does it take to put on a show? And that kind of opened my eyes a little bit, because it was different from the theater that I was seeing at the big the touring productions, or even the Steppenwolf and the Goodman. Those are some sizable companies, so I didn't think it was possible. So when I started to go to see some of the storefront theater, I realized, well, it is possible. It takes either getting a new work or paying royalties for an existing work, getting a cast, getting a space, big or small, and inviting audiences in, and then kind of there you go. So after I kind of realized that, I was able to leverage my experience. By day, I'm a banker, so I was able to leverage a lot.
By day, everybody does something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was able to leverage a lot of the skills that I've grown to learn and become good at with finance and operations, with my love and passion for the theater. So hence the birth of Co-Candy Productions.
And you are the producer of
Yes.
this show.
Yes.
And just in case we run out of time, I don't know if we will, but we have to give your website, because that's
Absolutely.
where you can go to get the tickets.
You could,
as well.
there's a purchase tickets button.
It's running
absolutely.
August 2nd through 26th at Theater Wit, which is up on
Belmont. Yeah, 1229 West Belmont.
Great little space. Great new space.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a lot from this show in one thing. It doesn't just happen in 16 weeks. This has been in the planning since last year.
It has.
Knowing John, I learned that you have to do financing,
Yes.
come up with money. And so you didn't even start doing your casting until maybe two months prior, right? 3 months
We
prior?
actually did casting early because we really wanted to try to secure some of the best talent before they got connected with other productions. So we actually had auditions in the end of January, beginning of February.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, this is different for you, John, because you're used to small theater.
I am.
And now this is your first time directing
In the city.
in the city of Chicago.
Correct.
And
It's
in
been great.
In a big theater.
It's been great working with this creative team, and as I said, this cast is phenomenal. I think I can speak for the entire team, especially the music director, who's Allison Hendricks, and the choreographer, Tom Coppola. We've all had a wonderful time working with this cast and just kind of seeing this whole show come to life before our eyes. So
And I believe that opening night is sold out. Is that correct?
Opening night is sold
Opening
out.
night is sold out.
That
yeah.
is really exciting. If you want tickets, it's we're going to give your website.
Okay.
You want to give your website? Go
Yeah,
right ahead.
it's www.cocandyproductions.com. All of the cast information, all of the creative team information, as well as a big purchase tickets button, which will take you right to Theater Wit's box office site, and you can purchase tickets for the other 21 performances. So 22 total performances. One is sold out, so get your tickets.
Do you have room to expand or to go further, to add time to it, or?
Yeah, there is, I think, a week or so before another show gets into Theater
I know
Wit.
that with Theater Wit has a lot of stuff going on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
we're pretty fortunate, though, because there isn't a lot of theater going on, as you well know, in the month of August
Right.
in the city. So we thought it was a great time to stage
It is a great
the
time
show.
because September is
So,
when it starts getting
exactly,
really busy
yeah.
again. So it is a great time.
Well, John avoided saying one thing about this show, and so maybe he's going to kill me for saying it. You're Jeff eligible.
No, we're
No,
not.
you're not going to be Jeff eligible. No wonder
Yeah,
he didn't mention it.
so one more year. So
Oh, I thought
yeah,
because this is an equity or non-equity?
This is non-equity.
This is non-equity.
non-equity. Yep. So this is my second year. So look forward to continuing producing to become Jeff eligible one day.
Oh.
And you two you guys work really well together too.
Well, actually, I've directed Scott several times
I know.
in the past, so we have a little bit of a history.
Yeah.
So that I think rapport has really helped the business relationship side as well. So.
So we really want to encourage people to get out and see this. Again, it's the smaller theaters that they need our business, and
Well, it also is the smaller theaters is what produces the actors who can work their way up the ladder as well. They get seen in some of the smaller theaters by other people, and their name gets out there, and then they grow. And that's so young actors should be looking at not always reaching for the stars, because sometimes they're better off starting with the smaller theater companies, developing their skills, honing
Right.
their talent, and then go on, and they'll be found.
And to illustrate that, one of our very own, Ashley Braxton, has just been cast in I Love Lucy Live, which will be produced at Broadway in
Broadway
Chicago.
Right. Very good.
That's a perfect illustration of what Al just said. So
also you can go on our website, chicagotheaterreview.com. There will be a link to get tickets. Again, opening night is sold out, but there's plenty of other nights to come and see
absolutely,
it.
Wednesday through Sundays.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Al,
Good luck
is there
to you
anything you want to
guys.
ask
Now, I'm
them?
going to grab myself a beer and get myself down.
There you go.
That's right. That is right. Absolutely.
John, is there anything we forgot to mention or anything you want to tell us?
No, I don't think so. It's truly going to be, we'll just say this, an experiential theater event. One of my hallmarks as a director is I love to include and involve the audience, and we've got some special surprises planned, I think, as part of that experience the night that you come to see it. So.
Well, as I can tell you from past experience, knowing John for almost 30 years, anything that he does is great. I have never seen anything bad, and I only made one mistake with this. I remember his last play, I said, oh, it's a musical? Floyd Collins, yeah, it is a musical. So, John, I want to thank you for finally coming back onto our show and forgiving me. Chris. Scott.
I'll forgive you next time I'm on. For calling me Chris.
They don't even put your name on the brochure.
Just the last name. You could just call me Cook Candy. That works too. I'm flexible.
Al, I do know you, so thanks for being on the show.
No problem.
Gail, thanks for finally coming back.
Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome. We have September starts the new theater season, so we will have some new shows. So I want you all to come back in September. August, we have one more show that'll be playing at the end of the month, and we have some guests for that. So from Chicago Theater Review, I'm Frank, Gail, and Al, and we'll see you at the theater.
I've been in jail, got him out of my hair. Though it's sexual, I was waiting for the day he got the chair. Running house to house to make me such a bitch, just to wind up in a blackout with Earl getting the switch. I'll think of him finally on romantic nights when my new boyfriend turns out the lights. You know I love my man, he had a bitchy tan. You know I love my man, he never saw your plan. You know I love my man, he's throwing on C-SPAN. I'm that electric chair's biggest fan. That's why I love my man.
Oh, I love my man too, Lynn. He brought all these fancy presents for the baby. He's away doing dinner theater.
That's real sweet.
It's hard to describe a man's love in terms of size. Even harder if you judge it when you cannot fertilize. I think the key to happiness is having kids. So I open up my cookie jar and throw away the lid. Practice makes perfect for my special room. Sometimes we do it in separate rooms.
Oh, my gay hell.
You know I love my man, the biggest fan. You know I love my man. Start Peter Pan. You know I love my man, just like my grandma had. His blood stop fans are dead.
Aus von Six Nation!